So I'm doing laundry on a random Saturday afternoon, just throwing Gavin's dress shirts in the washer because apparently I'm the only person in this apartment who knows how to operate a washing machine, and I notice this weird pinkish stain on the collar of his white button-down. At first I think it's like wine or something, but when I look closer it's very clearly lipstick. Not my shade either because I wear nudes and this is giving coral pink Sephora employee vibes. And I just stand there holding this shirt thinking, okay, there's probably an explanation. Maybe someone at work hugged him weird or whatever. But my gut is telling me that's not true at all because Gavin's been so distant lately. Coming home late, always on his phone, snapping at me when I ask about his day. So instead of being the chill, cool girl I'm supposed to be, I do the thing everyone says not to do. I go through his phone. His passcode is still my birthday, which honestly in retrospect is almost insulting considering what I'm about to find. I open his messages fully expecting to either confirm I'm being paranoid or find something definitive. What I get instead is this confusing middle ground that somehow feels worse than either option. There's messages to someone named Celine that say, "Thanks for last night." And she responds, "No problem, boss," followed by a bunch of stuff about the quarterly reports. But like, why the smiley face? There's ones to a Brie where he's written, "You're so good at that." And she sent back years of practice LOL with details about some client presentation. Then there's a whole thread with Megan where he's sent, "That was amazing, seriously," and she's replied, "Glad I could help," with a heart emoji, then pivot to talking about the Simonetting campaign. They all have plausible deniability with the work context immediately following. But they're all so familiar and comfortable, and there are so many of them to so many different women. I'm actually feeling nauseous because who talks to this many coworkers like this while engaged? I'm sitting on our bed with his phone in my shaking hands trying to figure out which one left the lipstick when he walks in from the gym. He takes one look at me holding his phone and his whole face changes. "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm immediately thinking, okay, you literally never curse at me, so the fact that that's your reaction is very telling. I asked him, "You want to explain this?" I hold up the shirt with the lipstick stain and then his phone. My voice is surprisingly steady considering my heart is literally pounding out of my chest. He snatches the phone from me so fast I almost drop it. "Are you seriously going through my phone right now? Are you fucking serious?" And I'm like, "Gavin, there's lipstick on your shirt and you're texting multiple women things that sound really inappropriate. What am I supposed to think? Why are you so defensive right now?" He starts pacing around the bedroom and I can literally see him getting more worked up. "You're a paranoid psycho, you know that? You have serious fucking trust issues. Normal people in healthy relationships don't snoop through their partner's phones." I'm just sitting there trying to process the fact that somehow I'm the bad guy in this scenario. I try to bring up the specific messages like, "What about thanking Celine for last night with a smiley face?" And he cuts me off. "We were working late on the quarterly reports. She's a coworker. I'm allowed to thank people. Jesus Christ, do you hear yourself right now?" And then he starts going on about how the lipstick is from their team leader hugging him goodbye after a work dinner, how it's completely innocent, how I'm making something out of nothing because I'm so insecure. Trusting partners don't invade privacy. You know that, right? If you really loved me, you'd believe me when I say nothing's happening. This is exactly the kind of crazy behavior you women do that pushes men away. My jaw drops at that. He's never spoken to me like this, so I know something is up. I stand my ground despite him trying to make me feel crazy. These messages sound flirty even if they're about work. "You're engaged. You know that, right? Why are you being so familiar with all these women?" He literally laughs at me. Like actually laughs and goes, "Oh my god, you're actually crazy. You're actually a crazy person. This is how normal human beings interact at work. Just because you're jealous and paranoid doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong." He starts turning it around on me asking why I'm so insecure, suggesting maybe I'm the one hiding something if I'm this suspicious, implying that my reaction is proof I'm not mature enough for marriage. And the scariest part is that he's so convincing about it. Like he's so confident in his outrage that I actually start questioning myself. Maybe I am overreacting? Maybe these messages are normal and I'm just being crazy? Maybe the lipstick really is from an innocent hug and I'm creating drama where there isn't any? We fight for hours, and by the end of it, I'm exhausted and crying, and he's making me feel like I'm this toxic, paranoid girlfriend who can't let him have female friends. He keeps saying things like, "I can't believe you'd violate my privacy like this," and "If you can't trust me, we have serious problems," and somehow I end up being the one apologizing. I'm literally saying sorry for checking his phone, sorry for not trusting him, sorry for causing a fight. He does this thing where he gets really quiet and hurt and says, "I don't know if I can be with someone who thinks so little of me," and I'm panicking because suddenly I'm about to lose my fiance over what he's convinced me is my own insecurity. He makes me promise I'll never go through his phone again, makes me agree that his friendships with women are appropriate and I'm the problem, makes me feel like I should be grateful he's willing to work through my trust issues instead of just leaving. That night, lying in bed next to him pretending everything's fine, I keep thinking about those messages, about how many women there were, about the lipstick, about how quickly he flipped it all on me. And somewhere in the back of my mind behind all the gaslighting and manipulation, I realize I'm engaged to someone who thinks the appropriate response to finding lipstick on his collar is to make me feel crazy for asking about it. Someone who has so many flirty conversations with so many women that he can't even deny the pattern. He just has to insist the pattern is normal. That was the moment I understood I was dealing with someone who had made an art form out of making me question my own reality. But here's the thing, nobody tells you about being gaslit by someone who thinks they're smarter than you. While Gavin was busy playing these little mind games thinking he's got me right where he wants me, I'm doing things he has absolutely no idea about. Because that fight on Saturday, that wasn't the end of it. Not even close. Let me tell you what happened after because it gets so much worse before it gets better. Okay, so what Gavin did in the days after our fight is honestly next level manipulative. Like I'm talking involving other people, trying to turn everyone against me type stuff. And I'm sitting here like, you really thought you did something with that? But that's the difference between me and him because while he was busy running his mouth and playing victim, I was out making moves. I was investigating to find out who his side piece really was. The audacity of this man is truly something else. And I need you guys to see just how unhinged this got. Monday morning, I wake up to a text from my friend Naomi, who's dating one of Gavin's coworkers. She's like, hey, weird question, but did something happen between you and Gavin? Carlos mentioned Gavin was asking everyone at the office if they'd stay with a partner who was super paranoid and went through their phone. And I just stare at this text for like 5 minutes because are you kidding me right now? This man is polling his coworkers about our relationship? He's out here conducting a survey about whether I'm the problem? I text Naomi back asking what exactly he said, and she tells me he's been going around to basically everyone asking this hypothetical about, would you stay with someone who didn't trust you? And how would you handle a partner who was acting paranoid and jealous? Not even trying to be subtle about it, just straight up telling everyone at his office that his fiance is crazy and paranoid. I'm sitting there in bed absolutely fuming because this is next level. Like he's not just making me feel crazy in private anymore, he's recruiting witnesses. And the worst part is that some of his friends are apparently agreeing with him. Naomi tells me that most people were like, yeah man, if she doesn't trust you, that's a red flag. And you deserve better than someone who violates your privacy. I'm furious hearing about these conversations that happened without me there to defend myself. He's literally creating this story where he's the victim of his paranoid psycho fiance, and everyone's eating it up. And look, I could sit here and be upset about it. I could call him and start another fight about how he's involving other people in our business. But that's exactly what he wants. He wants me emotional and reactive so he can point and say, see? Crazy. So instead, I decide to do something actually useful with my time. I start looking into who these women are that he's texting. Celine, Bree, Megan. I find their LinkedIn profiles, their Instagram accounts, figure out their roles at his company. Celine's a junior analyst on his team. Bree works in client relations. Megan's his executive assistant. And I'm taking notes like I'm studying for finals because if I'm going to figure out what's really going on, I need actual information, not just my gut feeling. Then Tuesday night, he comes home and casually mentions he talked to his parents about us. Just drops it like it's normal dinner conversation. Oh, by the way, I told my mom and dad about what happened this weekend. And of course he did. Of course he's already gotten to them too. I look up from my laptop and I'm like, what exactly did you tell them, Gavin? He shrugs like it's no big deal. Just the truth, that you went through my phone without permission and accused me of cheating over some completely innocent work messages. The way he says it is so matter of fact, like he's describing the weather. So I ask him what they said, and he gets this smug look on his face that makes me want to throw something. They said it sounds like you have some serious trust issues you need to work on. My mom thinks maybe you should talk to someone, like a therapist. I feel this heat rising in my chest because now his parents think I'm the problem. You told them about the lipstick though, right? You told them about how you had lipstick on your collar that wasn't mine? He rolls his eyes. I told them about your irrational reaction to an innocent situation. They agreed that you're being paranoid. And I'm just looking at this man I thought I knew, wondering when he became someone who could lie this easily. So I do something that's probably going to make things worse, but honestly, I don't even care anymore. I pick up my phone right there and call his mom. When she answers, she sounds surprised to hear from me. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Is everything okay? And I just ask her straight up. Gavin said he talked to you about this weekend. Can I explain what actually happened from my side? She goes quiet for a second and then says, of course, honey, but her tone is already different. Careful. I tell her about finding the lipstick, about the messages that sounded inappropriate even with work context, about how defensive Gavin got when I tried to talk to him about it. Gavin's sitting there listening to all this with that smug look still on his face. Smirk so high he looks like the smirking Roblox face meme. And honestly, he had every reason to look like that damn bacon because you know what she says? Honey, I know it's hard, but men need space. If you're constantly questioning him and going through his things, you're going to push him away. Gavin works very hard, and he's very loyal to you. I'm trying so hard not to lose it on this phone call because she's literally taking his side without even considering that maybe I'm not making this up. But the lipstick was real. The messages are real. I'm not making this up out of nowhere. She sighs like I'm being difficult. Sometimes things look worse than they are when we're feeling insecure. I think you two just need to work on your communication. I'm about to respond when I hear Gavin's dad in the background saying something I can't make out. His mom goes, hold on. Hector wants to talk to you. His dad gets on the phone and his whole energy is different. Hey, are you doing all right? And something about the way he asks makes me want to cry. I tell him what I found: the lipstick, the messages to multiple women, how Gavin flipped it all on me. He goes quiet for a second and then says, "That doesn't sound right. That's not how you talk to coworkers. I don't care what the context is." This man has me on the verge of tears, feeling relief because finally someone's validating what I saw. Finally, someone's not acting like I'm crazy. "Look," he says, "I'm going to have a conversation with Gavin. But don't let anyone make you question what you saw with your own eyes, okay?" The second I end the call, Gavin's smug expression is completely gone. My dad doesn't know what he's talking about. He's always been too soft, always taking everyone's side. I just look at him like, "Your dad is the only one being reasonable here." And he scoffs. He gets right up in my face, close enough that I take a step back. My parents are on my side. My dad feeling sorry for you doesn't change anything. They both think you're acting crazy, and you know why? Because they know me. They know I wouldn't cheat. They failed as parents if they raised someone who would do that, so obviously they're going to defend me. I'm just staring at him, trying to process that he just called his own parents failures for believing he might be capable of cheating. The logic is so twisted I don't even know where to start. Then he really loses it. My phone is sitting on the coffee table and he grabs it before I can stop him. "You want to go through phones so bad? Let's see yours then. What's your passcode?" He's holding it up away from me and I reach for it. "Gavin, give me my phone back." He holds it higher. "I said, what's your passcode? You went through mine without asking, so I get to go through yours. That's only fair, right?" I'm trying to grab it, but he keeps moving it out of reach. "You can look through my phone if you just give it back to me." But he's not listening. He's just trying random numbers. My birthday. His birthday. Our anniversary. When nothing works, he throws it onto the couch and says, "You're lucky I haven't left already. You know that? After everything you've put me through, I'm still here. I'm being so fucking patient with you, and this is how you repay me?" I'm standing there thinking about how insane it is that he's acting like staying with me is some kind of gift. Like I should be grateful he hasn't dumped me for finding evidence of his shady behavior. "I'm done with this conversation," he says. "My parents know the truth. My friends know the truth. The only person who doesn't seem to get it is you." Then he storms off to the bedroom and slams the door. That night, after things calm down and he's asleep, I'm on my laptop again. I create a fake Instagram account and start following some of these women from his office. I'm just trying to get more information, see if there's anything publicly visible that might help me understand who they are and how close they actually are to Gavin. And that's when I see it. Celine posted a photo from 3 weeks ago at some company event. It's a group photo and there's Gavin, standing close to a woman wearing the most distinctive coral pink lipstick. The exact shade. The exact one that was on his collar. I screenshot it so fast my mouse almost slips. I don't know for sure if this was the night, but the timeline matches perfectly with when I found that shirt. By Friday, I've compiled everything I can find. The Instagram photo of Celine with the coral lipstick. Notes about when Gavin says he's working late versus when I know he's texting these women. Screenshots of their social media profiles. I'm building a case without him having any idea what I'm doing. By the weekend, I'm watching Gavin operate like he's already won this whole thing. He's texting his friends, laughing about something on his phone, acting completely normal like we didn't just have the worst week of our relationship. And honestly, I'm letting him. I'm not arguing, not bringing up the lipstick again, not starting fights. I'm just observing, taking mental notes of every little thing he does and says, because now I'm just seeing how far he's willing to take this. And apparently the answer is pretty far, because what he does next is so insane that I legitimately questioned whether I was dating an actual person or a cartoon villain. Like this man really woke up one day and thought, "You know what would be a great idea?" So Sunday night rolls around and Gavin tells me he wants to take me to dinner, says he wants to clear the air and move forward. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's see where this goes. And honestly, the way it all went down was kind of perfect. We get to this steakhouse that's actually pretty nice, like the kind with cloth napkins and a wine list. Gavin orders wine without asking what I want, and then he clears his throat like he's about to make an announcement. "So I've been thinking about us and what happened," he starts. And I'm sitting there like, okay, here we go. And I think we need to set some boundaries if this is gonna work. What kind of boundaries? In my head, I'm thinking maybe he's going to suggest couples therapy or something reasonable. But no. This man reaches into his briefcase and pulls out literal printed papers. Like he printed something out and brought it to dinner. He slides them across the table to me and says, "I made us a relationship agreement." As if this was normal. It's got rules for both of us. Clear expectations. I pick up the papers and I start reading and I swear my jaw actually drops. This man has written a contract. An actual contract with numbered sections and bullet points. The whole thing is basically saying I'm not allowed to go through his phone, I can't question his relationships with women at work. I need concrete evidence before I can bring up concerns. It's literally a document designed to make sure I can never catch him doing anything suspicious. I look up at him and he's sitting there like he just solved all our problems. "You wrote a contract," I say, and my voice is so flat. "Yeah. So we stop fighting about stupid shit," he says. "Everything's spelled out now. You know what's okay and what's not. Simple." I flip through the pages and there's a whole section about how I need to work on my trust issues and another part about how if I violate the agreement, he can call off the engagement. Not we both can. Just him. Gavin, I say, trying to stay calm. You want me to sign a legal document saying I'm not allowed to question you? He rolls his eyes. That's not what it says. Stop being dramatic. It says you can't go through my shit without a reason. Big difference. I'm just staring at him. And if I don't sign it? He shrugs. Then you're not ready for a real relationship. And maybe we shouldn't get married. And that's when it clicks. He's giving me an ultimatum. Sign this insane contract or we're done. This man who had lipstick on his collar, who's been texting multiple women, who's gaslighted me for a week, is now trying to legally bind me to never questioning him. And if I don't? He's calling off the wedding. Something in me breaks. I set the papers down and I say, pretty loudly, so you want me to sign a contract that says I have to sit there like a good little bitch and never question anything you do? A couple at the table next to us looks over. Gavin notices and his voice gets sharp. Can you not? Can you act normal for once? But I'm already going. A contract, Gavin. You brought this to dinner because I saw a lipstick stain on your shirt. More people are looking now. The waiter who was coming over literally turns around. Gavin's face is getting red. You're making a scene. Stop. Stop what? I'm not yelling, but I'm definitely not quiet. Stop talking about how you want me to sign away my right to notice when you're sketchy. That's what this is. The table next to us is fully watching. The woman is turned around in her chair staring at us. Gavin stands up. You're embarrassing yourself. You're being crazy and you're embarrassing both of us. And I'm like, I'm embarrassing myself? You're telling me to stop barking at you when you're wrong like I'm a chihuahua. It's called boundaries. His voice is getting louder. Something you don't get because you think going through phones is normal. I stand up too. You had lipstick on your collar. And instead of admitting you're cheating, you made me feel insane. And now you want me to legally promise to never bring it up again. He's gripping the table, watching everyone watch him. For a moment, I think he's going to realize how messed up this is. But then he throws his napkin down. You know what? I'm done. I'm done trying with you. You're a clingy nightmare who will die alone. He's putting on his jacket and walks out and leaves me standing there with everyone watching. The woman at the next table touches my arm like, are you okay? And I don't even know how to answer. When I get home, Gavin's not there. I'm relieved because I can't handle more fighting. Then around midnight, my phone blows up. Naomi texts me, girl, Gavin just posted on Facebook. I open it and there's a whole post from Gavin saying his fiance makes up cheating stories for attention. That she's been lying to his family and friends. That he tried to work things out tonight, but she caused a scene because she can't handle mature conversations. He literally wrote, I tried to discuss relationship boundaries like an adult and got public humiliation instead. The comments are pouring in. His friends saying, you deserve better and she sounds toxic and dodge that bullet, bro. I'm reading this with shaky hands, but it's fine. Some people think bringing a contract to dinner means they've covered their tracks. Some people think if they control the narrative online, everyone will believe them. And some people are about to learn that while they were busy playing victim on Facebook, other people were doing actual detective work. I've got something planned that's going to make that restaurant scene look like a warm-up. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. You guys, I literally cannot breathe right now. What just happened at Gavin's office was beyond anything I could have imagined. This man really thought he had everything figured out. He really thought he won. I'm actually dead at how wrong he was. After the steakhouse disaster, I spent all of Sunday going through that Instagram photo over and over. The woman with the coral lipstick standing next to Gavin. I zoom in on her face and start comparing it to the profiles of women who work at his company. It takes me hours, but eventually I find her. Her name is Leah. She was 22 years old and started as an intern at Gavin's company 3 months ago. 3 months. Right around when he started acting distant. I sit there staring at her Instagram and something feels off. Her recent posts have comments disabled. The photos from the past few weeks all look kind of forced, like she's smiling but her eyes aren't. And then I see it. A post from 2 months ago before the comments were turned off. Someone wrote, "Girl, are you okay? You haven't been yourself lately." And another person commented, "Miss seeing you at our study group, hope everything's good." This girl was in college, still is technically, and now she's working for Gavin. I make a decision that's either brilliant or incredibly stupid. I message her on Instagram from my real account. "Hi Leah, I know this is weird, but I'm Gavin's fiance and I really need to talk to you. Please, it's important." I don't expect her to respond, but 20 minutes later she does. "Can we meet somewhere?" "Not near the office." We meet at a coffee shop on Monday morning. Leah shows up looking exhausted, like she hasn't slept in days. She sits down across from me and before I can even say anything, she just starts crying. Like full-on sobbing in the middle of this coffee house. "I'm so sorry," she keeps saying. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was engaged at first. I swear I didn't know." I hand her some napkins and wait for her to calm down enough to talk. "Leah, I need you to tell me what happened. All of it." She takes a shaky breath and nods. "He hired me as an intern 3 months ago. At first it was normal, you know? He was my supervisor. He'd tell me I was doing good work, that I had potential." She's picking at the napkin in her hands. "Then he started asking me to stay late. He said we needed to work on projects together. I didn't think anything of it at first because I wanted to learn. I wanted to impress him. When did it change? I ask. She looks up at me with red eyes. About a month in. The late nights turned into him offering to buy me dinner. He'd say we earned it for working so hard, and during those dinners he'd start asking personal questions. About my life, my relationships. I thought he was just being nice, being a mentor. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. Then one night after dinner, he told me that if I wanted a full-time position after my internship ended, I needed to show him how badly I wanted it. I get nauseous because I already know where this is going. What did he say exactly? She closes her eyes like she's trying to block out the memory. He said I was smart and capable, but he needed to know I was willing to do what it takes to get to the top. And when I asked what he meant, he just smiled and said, I think you know. She stopped to take a break. And you know this is my first real job. I have student loans. My mom is sick. And he knew that. He knew I couldn't just quit. She pulls out her phone with shaking hands. I started screenshotting everything after the first time. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I needed proof in case something happened. She shows me her phone. Messages from Gavin that make me want to throw up. Can't wait to have you alone again. You look so good in that skirt today. I couldn't focus on anything else. Keep making me happy, and that junior analyst position is yours, I promise. There's dozens of them. Hundreds, maybe. I show her the photo of the lipstick-stained shirt. She looks at it and more tears start falling. That was from the company event 3 weeks ago. He kissed me in the hallway when no one was looking. The rage I feel is actually blinding. This man wasn't just cheating on me, he was hurting an intern. Do you have more proof? I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. She nods. There's security footage. We sit there for 2 hours making a plan. Leah tells me Gavin has a board presentation on Monday afternoon. All the executives will be there. His boss, the CEO, the HR director, everyone important. If we're doing this, she says, and her voice is stronger now, we need to do it where everyone can see, where he can't talk his way out of it or make it go away quietly. Monday afternoon, I'm standing outside Gavin's office building with Leah. She's shaking. I can see her hands trembling as she clutches her phone. Are you absolutely sure about this? I ask her. Once we walk in there, there's no going back. She looks at me and nods. I'm so tired of being scared of him. I'm so tired of feeling like this is my fault. We walk in together. Take the elevator to the 8th floor where the conference room is. I can hear Gavin's voice through the door giving his presentation, confident and smooth like he doesn't have a care in the world. Leah takes a deep breath. Ready? I ask. She nods and opens the door. The room goes completely silent. There's about 15 people sitting around this long conference table. Gavin's standing at the front with a PowerPoint presentation on the screen behind him, mid-sentence. When he sees me, he gets angry. Then he sees Leah behind me, and I see him visibly panic. What are you doing here? You can't just walk into a board meeting. Hi, everyone. I ignore him and walk further into the room. Leah follows me, her chin up even though she's terrified. I'm really sorry to interrupt. I'm Gavin's fiance. Well, ex-fiance as of last night. And this is Leah. She's one of Gavin's interns. Leah has something she needs to tell you all. Leah's staring at Gavin and he's staring back at her, and I can see him trying to communicate something with his eyes, trying to intimidate her into silence one last time. But she doesn't look away. My name is Leah Carrillo, she says, and her voice is quieter than I'd like, but everyone's listening. I'm an intern in Gavin's department. I started 3 months ago. She pauses, swallows hard. Gavin is my direct supervisor, and for the past 2 months he's been telling me that if I want to get hired full-time after my internship, I need to. Her voice cracks and she stops. She's lying, Gavin says immediately, his voice sharp. I don't know what she told you, but she's making this up. She's probably working with my crazy ex too. Let her finish, Gavin's boss says, her voice ice cold. She's looking at Leah now with complete attention. Leah, take your time. Tell us what happened. Leah nods and takes a breath. Gavin told me that if I wanted to keep my job, I needed to keep him happy. The room explodes. Multiple people start talking at once. Gavin's voice rises above everyone else's. That is a complete lie. That's absolutely not true. She's just some intern who got upset that I gave feedback on her work and now she's trying to… Leah, I say, cutting him off again. Show them. She pulls out her phone and I watch her hands shake as she connects it to the conference room display. The PowerPoint disappears and her phone screen appears on the large screen behind Gavin. She opens her messages, scrolls to Gavin's name, and there it is. Hundreds of messages. She doesn't even have to read them out loud. Everyone can see them on the screen. Can't stop thinking about you. You know what you need to do to get that position. Wear that black dress again tomorrow. I liked that one. Be good to me and I'll be good to you. The messages go on, getting worse as you scroll. Gavin moves toward the display like he's going to rip the cables out, but one of the executives stands up and physically steps between Gavin and the screen. Gavin, sit down. Now. These are taken out of context. Gavin's face is bright red now, his voice getting higher. We were joking around! She was into it. This is just friendly banter between coworkers. There's more, Leah says quietly. and she opens another file. This is security footage from 2 weeks ago. The video starts playing, showing the conference room we're all in right now. Leah on the table, Gavin kissing her. It escalates quickly. Some people back away from the table, realizing what was done on it. Leah turns it off seconds later. The room is dead silent. Gavin's boss stands up slowly. Her face is pale. Gavin, you need to leave this room, right now. You're believing her over me? I've worked here for 6 years. 6 years! Gavin's looking around the room frantically. Simon, come on! He turns to the HR director. You know me. We play golf every weekend. You know I wouldn't do this. Simon looks like he's going to be sick. Gavin, I just watched you do that to an intern in our conference room. I don't care how long we've been friends. You're done. You can't fire me! You can't! Gavin's practically screaming. This is wrongful termination! I'll sue all of you. Gavin, his boss says, and her voice is final. You are terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you out. If you contact Leah or any other employee, we will file a restraining order and pursue criminal charges. Do you understand? This is bullshit. Bullshit! Gavin slams his hand on the table and everyone jumps. She's lying. They're both lying. This is a setup. 2 security guards appear in the doorway. The entire floor has emptied out. People standing in doorways and cubicles watching. He's still yelling, still trying to argue his case to anyone who will listen. You're all going to regret this. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of company this is. You're protecting liars. But nobody's listening. The elevator doors close on him mid-sentence and the floor is completely silent. I feel this weight lift off my chest. It's over. He can't gaslight anyone anymore. He can't make Leah feel crazy. He can't make me feel crazy. Leah turns to me, her eyes glossy. Thank you. I couldn't have done this alone. And I'm like, you did this. You were brave enough to keep those screenshots. You were brave enough to speak up. You saved yourself and probably saved other women from going through this too. That night, I get a text from Gavin's mom. I'm so sorry. We didn't know. If we had known what he was really doing, I don't respond. I just block the number. I'm done with all of them. Done with being made to feel crazy. Done with gaslighting and manipulation. I'm just done. And for the first time in weeks, I can actually breathe.